Hey Sooner Scoop, here with my Kennedy Brooks video that I said I would do. Had a lot of good feedback on the Seth McGowan video. Thank you guys for that. This is stuff that I love talking about, and when I get some free time throughout the day, I like looking at how guys run and move, and I think it's fascinating to find out what works really well. As you guys know from the board, I have a great affinity for Kennedy Brooks. I think he's an underrated athlete. Specifically with how he runs and how he moves. I think sometimes he's guilty of making things look so easy that we mistake it for maybe lesser competition or the holes being so big that anybody could run through them, and I think that may be a mistake. Looking at his track times, his best track time that I found was 11:07 100 meter, which roughly translates to like a 4.5, 4.6 range, which is where I think he'll be when it comes 40 time. I think if the weight is right, he has a chance to be in that 4.5 range. Just depends. So we're going to look at really 2 to 3 main things that I love about his style. I have this video from the K-State game back in 2018. I'm going to let it play through and then show you guys a few things that make him excellent at what he does and why I think he's so undervalued. We'll let this cut happen, and then we'll go back and review. And I may show you another video of a cut that he did, I believe, against Iowa State. It may be in 2019, but we'll take a look. So there's the video. So the first thing this guy has is elite level positioning compared to Seth McGowan. The video I showed before, it's not even in the same stratosphere. Kennedy Brooks is a legit track level sprinter. The things he does with his feet and with his hips are just top notch. First thing he does is he has elite level shin drop. Shin drop is something that's kind of been talked about more by this guy named Adarian Barr. If you don't know who he is, look him up. Elite level track high jump coach. But shin drop is really important because it allows you to get horizontal more efficiently. So we'll watch as Kennedy Brooks will let that left leg hit the ground. When that left foot plants, right as it plants, about right here, look at the angle there. It's kind of tough to see, but the socks help you. What I want you guys to look at is the angle at which, get to a good one, where it initially hits, right there. How horizontal that shin is already getting. And within fractions of a second, it gets more so. He's incredibly good at keeping that shin level horizontal, right? It's very efficient. Second thing Kennedy Brooks does is he doesn't overstride. First of all, look at this triple flexion, talking about, or in this case, just flexion at the knee, but he does go into amazing triple flexion right here, where the hip is just flexed enough, knee just flexed enough, ankle just flexed enough, but he has incredible mobility. He can get into positions with ease at the hip, knee, and ankle. This is awesome stuff. But the other thing, as I was saying, is he doesn't overstride. By the time this left foot plants again, right here, overstriders will tend to be too far behind. Their shoulders will be behind their forefoot, and that puts them at a state of potential risk of hyperextension. They're more subject to ACL tears, specifically if they were to get hit in that position. Hyperextension plus any kind of shear force or any like lateral force on the knee, not a good thing. But he's perfectly aligned, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder. This is an optimal position to be in through that mid swing phase. As we let it go forward, his elbows are very efficient in their movement. He really only goes from about, specifically, we'll just look at the hand with the ball. The other hand's a little bit more. He's very efficient with that movement, really kind of a 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock movement, which is very efficient. You don't want to use up a lot of energy. A lot of guys overswing the hands, overswing the elbows, and that's just too much. You don't need to. Last thing is head and hips. Almost no vertical movement whatsoever. You can use the sideline as a guide, but those hips are not moving up and down whatsoever. You could pretty much draw a straight line between from the top of his helmet and also through kind of that torso or hip range. He also maintains really good flexion at the hips through basically some anterior pelvic tilt. He maintains that through the entire run. Next thing I want to look at is, we'll scroll through here. We'll skip that part so the video is not too long. Is his start. Guys, his start is elite level. If you watch this, this is just, I wish I knew more on the football concepts, but this is just essentially a dive play almost. But his start is what's cool to me. This is a track level start. The way he gets that left and that right into the ground, he's utilizing kind of the three-dimensional movement of the leg. In other words, the ability to be able to extend and adduct is very important. He's utilizing extension really well. So just a lot of positives here. The last thing I want to look at and what makes him just such an incredible athlete is on this last step, this last plant and go before he really gets into it, right here. So it's kind of tough to see, but he gets into a pretty pronounced pronation with that foot. What that means when I say pronation, it's almost like you're rolling your ankle to the outside. You're planting that big toe in the ground, and in order to get into this position, it requires a lot of mobility at the ankle and just a lot of work and a lot of time running. He gets into it right when he's about to hit top speed. You can see that foot plant and the amount of bend. Watch that ankle just kind of warp as it hits the ground. That is stuff that you see in like elite level track guys. Also his ground contact time from here, from the amount of time that foot hits the ground, bop, he's gone. So really good stuff from him in that regard. These are just a few of the things. Elite level shin drop, incredible pronation. He's really able to kind of power through that foot, that stuff that you see from like high jumpers, elite track guys. And then his positioning of his shoulders and his hips as he runs is just top notch. That's one of the reasons he makes things look